Grand Slam Club Ovis has now long established itself as the organization that is the keeper of the records for what is known as the 700 Club. The 700 Club has been loosely used for a few years, but in 2005, sheep historian and writer Bob Anderson of Rockwall, Texas, wrote an article for Sports Afield entitled it 700 Club. In that article, he made the statement that this was the most exclusive group of big game hunters in the world. At the time, Bob was really the only person informally keeping up with those who had taken a Dall, Stone, Bighorn, and Desert with a combined record book score of 700 or more. However, Bob and GSCO teamed up, and GSCO took over the formal documentation of the 700 Club accomplishment according to the highest score, whether it be SCI, Boone and Crockett, or Pope and Young scores. To date, GSCO has recorded nearly 40 individuals who have documented in the record books or with GSCO the 4 rams with 700 inches or more. We'll now recognize some of our members who have recently entered the 700 Club ranks. We ask that you hold your applause until everyone in the group has been introduced. Gary Guerrieri of Washington holds Grand Slam number 1911. Gary was able to reach the 700 mark with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn, taken from his home state in November 2015. With that B&C gross score of 192 and 0.8. Leading up to his Bighorn, Gary had taken a Dall from NWT that scored 158 and 1/8 B&C gross, a Stone Sheep from British Columbia, scoring 172 and 2/8 SCI, and a Desert Bighorn from New Mexico that scored 184 and 0.8 SCI. These 4 rams have a total combined score of 706 and 3/8 SCI and B&C gross. We should also note that Gary's 700 score is from his first 4 rams, and only 4 rams that comprise his Grand Slam. To our knowledge, Gary's only the second person to do this, the late Lloyd Zeman being the first. North Carolina's Thomas Teague holds Grand Slam number 1929. Thomas began his 700 Club journey with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn taken from Montana during 2002, which scored 183 and 2/8 B&C gross. Next for Thomas was a Dall Sheep taken from NWT during 2003 that scored 170 and 1/8 B&C gross. Thomas's Desert Bighorn was taken on Tiburon Island, Mexico during 2010, and that ram scored 183 and 3/8 SCI. Finally, Thomas took a Stone Sheep from British Columbia in 2015 that scored 170 and 3/8 SCI, and his 4 rams added to a combined total score of 707 1/8 SCI and B&C gross. Jim Lines of Texas holds Grand Slam number 1920. Jim took an unbelievable Stone Sheep from British Columbia in 2013, which scored a whopping 184 and 1/8 SCI. The next ram for Jim in his 700 Slam was a Rocky Mountain Bighorn taken from New Mexico in 2015 that had a score of 188 and 1/8 SCI. Jim's Dall Sheep scored 157 2/8 SCI and was taken from the Yukon in 2015. The final ram to get Jim to the magic number was a Desert Bighorn that he took from Tiburon Island, Mexico in February 2016. That ram scored 178 1/8 SCI and gave Jim a total score of 707 and 5/8 SCI. Next up is Jeff Damaski of Colorado, who holds Grand Slam number 1756. Jeff was able to reach the 700 mark with a Dall Sheep from the Yukon in 2016 that scored 176 and 3/8 SCI. Jeff had already taken a Stone from British Columbia that scored 165 and 4/8 B&C gross, a Rocky Mountain Bighorn from New Mexico, scoring 189 and 4/8 SCI, and a Desert Bighorn taken on Tiburon Island, Mexico, which scored 183 and 0/8 SCI. Jeff's 700 Slam is the 18th largest ever recorded at 714 and 3/8 SCI and B&C gross. So let's give all these hunters a big round of applause in recognition of their 700 club accomplishments. For several years, different bow hunters began to communicate with GSCO about an archery club to parallel the 700 Club. After much research and discussion, in 2012 we introduced the 650 Archery Club. Just as with the 700 Club, this parallel club for bow hunters is a very exclusive group, with tonight's inductee being only the 5th person to reach this level with his 4 archery taken rams. Gary Martin of Wisconsin completed Grand Slam number 1398 on October 12, 2007, but his accomplishment included a bighorn taken with a rifle and the other 3 with archery equipment. Then on November 22, 2008, Gary arrowed a Rocky Mountain bighorn in Alberta that made him the 39th documented archery Grand Slammer. In 1992, Gary arrowed a Dall sheep in the Mackenzie Mountains of NWT. That ram scored 149 7/8 Pope and Young gross. In 1994, Gary got his archery stone ram in British Columbia. It was a Pope and Young gross score of 157 1/8. Next in line was Gary's fantastic Carmen Island Desert Bighorn with a score of 168 6/8 Pope and Young gross. The final ram of Gary's 650 Archery Club Slam is a beauty of a Rocky Mountain Bighorn scoring 174 2/8 SEI. He took that ram in Arizona on December 13, 2016. And Gary's 4 rams are totaled up using the gross score for Pope and Young and the SCI method. His total comes out to exactly 650 inches. So let's give Gary a big round of applause in recognition of his great 650 Archery Club accomplishment.